Welcome to this third stream. I'm your host, Raymond Mutuku, and I'm very happy to be here this wonderful morning. It is 5:40 Kenyan time, and I'm very happy to be here. Remember me for this, my Lord, and do not blot out what I've so faithfully done for the house of my God and its services. In those days, I saw people in Judah treading wine presses on the Sabbath and bringing in grain and loading it on donkeys together with wine, grapes, figs, and all other goods. And they were bringing all this into Jerusalem on the Sabbath. Therefore, I warned them against selling food on that day. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I'm very happy to be here this morning. Sorry. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Therefore, I warned them against selling food on that day. People from Tyre who lived in Jerusalem were bringing in fish and all kinds of merchandise and selling them in Jerusalem on the Sabbath to the people of Judah. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. I rebuked the nobles of Judah and said to them, desecrating the Sabbath day. Didn't your ancestors do the same thing so that our God brought all this calamity on us and on this day? Now you're stirring up more wrath against Israel by desecrating the Sabbath. Any questions up to that? If you subscribe and comment, tell me where you're watching me from. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. When evening shadows fell on the gates of Jerusalem before the Sabbath, I ordered the doors to be shut and not opened until the Sabbath was over. I stationed some of my own men at the gates so that no load could be brought in on the Sabbath day. Once or twice the merchants and sellers of all kinds of goods spent the night outside Jerusalem. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, comment, tell me where you're watching me from. But I warned them and said, why do you spend the night by the wall? If you do this again, I will arrest you. From that time on, they no longer came on the Sabbath. Then I commanded the Levites to purify themselves and go and guard the gates in order to keep the Sabbath day holy. Remember me also, my God, and show mercy to me according to your great love. Moreover, in those days I saw men of Judah who had married women from Ashdod, Ammon, and Moab. Half of their children spoke the language of Ashdod or the language of one of the other peoples and did not know how to speak the language of Judah. I rebuked them and called curses down on them. I beat some of the men and pulled out their hair. I made them take an oath in God's name and said, you are not to give your daughters in marriage to their sons, nor are you to take their daughters in marriage for your sons or for yourselves. Welcome. If you're new to this channel, was it not because of marriages like these that Solomon, king of Israel, sinned? He married remember King Solomon married foreign women. He married women from Ammonites, the Moabites. He worshipped, the goddess of the Sidonites, that is Ashtoreth, and many, many other things that were considered abomination in the eyes of God. Any questions up there? Among the many nations, there was no king like him. He was loved by his God, and God made him king over all Israel. But even he was led into sin by the foreign women. Must we now that you two are doing all this terrible wickedness. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. One of the sons of Jairus, son of Eliashib, the high priest, was son-in-law to Sanballat the Horonite, and I drove him away from me. Remember then, my God, because they defiled the priestly office and the covenant of the priesthood and of the Levites. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, comment, tell me where you're watching me from. So I purify the priests and the Levites of everything foreign and assign them duties each to their own task. I also make provisions for contributions of wood at designated times and for the first fruits. Remember me with favor, my God. We've just finished reading the book of Nehemiah, and I'm very happy. We are finished. Any questions? You're free to ask me your questions. Before I leave, ask me your questions. Before I go, you're free to ask me your questions before I leave. Ask me your questions before I go. Ask me your questions before I go. You're free to ask me your questions before I leave. You can ask me your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer you. Any questions? Any questions? You can ask me your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer you. Any questions that you want, I'll be free. You're free to ask. Ask now. You're free to ask me your questions. I'm waiting for you. You just have 2 minutes. Any questions up to there? Any questions up to there? You're free to ask me your questions. Any questions up to there? You're free. You can ask me, you can comment, you can tell me what you think that I should do to improve the quality of the work that we're doing. I'll be more than happy to hear you. Ask me your questions. Should we start reading the book of Esther? I have my Bible here. The book of Esther is a wonderful, Esther is a wonderful, wonderful book. It's about a woman who found favor in the eyes of the king, and when there was trouble, because the king looked to her favorably, Esther was very instrumental in securing the Jews at a time when they were under some spiritual attack as a wholesale. all of them, there were, the people who were against the Jews, at that time. And they didn't like the Jews at all. And a man called, what was the name? It was a man who hated the Jews. It was called Haman. Haman was a man who was, had bottomless hatred for the Jews. You can imagine this was a man who had money, but there was a burning, bottomless hatred for the Jews. Because there's nothing bad. One thing that most preachers don't teach is something that is usually overlooked in the book of Esther. That is when people have, bottomless hatred. Hatred which has no end. See, unless such a person is eliminated, there is no solution. So here, Haman, there was no way Haman could be convinced to start loving the Jews. This was a man who had given away, who was already sold out in that kind of business. All right. So here you can see one man who had hatred of the Jews. Just one man, not many people. One man. Like right now you can see in Kenya, just one man who brought about a lot of chaos. Just one man. Do you think chaos is brought about by two men? No. Just one man who brings about chaos in the entire country and turns everything upside down. That is exactly what Haman wanted to do. To wipe out an entire generation of the Jews. So this book is a very, very interesting book. How one man, look, I want you to read with me, because here we see, we've just finished reading the book of Nehemiah. One man came and brought about changes. But also there was one man called Sanballat who wanted to stop whatever they were doing. Read in the book of Ezra. There's just one man who wants to bring about chaos. A man called Totenai. Look at you see what is happening. I want you to understand me. What is happening in Kenya right now? Everybody is under pressure, or everybody's talking about not a group of men. Not a group of men. Just one man, one Russian, caused a lot of chaos. Not two or three, no, one. You can remember in the year 2020, is it 2025 or 2024? Just one man from Equatorial Guinea brought about a lot of chaos. He raised a demonic altar. Just one man, not two, not three, not four, not a group, no, one man who can change the entire country. You can imagine that man should be full of something. Are we together? So this man called Haman wanted to put an end to an entire generation of Jews. So that's what we're going to read in the book of Esther. It's a very, very interesting book. Any questions up to there? Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe, comment, tell me where you're watching me from. So you see, you can imagine. I want you to understand what I'm trying to say. You can imagine right now in Kenya, just one man, not two, not three, not a group, one man was caused a lot of chaos. I don't know how to describe that kind of, that kind of situation. I don't know. Anyway, we'll continue reading. The book of Esther. I want to go somewhere. You can ask me your question. You can ask me your question. Ask me your question before I leave. Ask me your questions. One man who can be an author of confusion, who brings about, people to question whether, the people who you meet, you start questioning whether God is real or is it a story. But also you can meet one man who can strengthen your faith, etc. You can meet also one man who can completely build your life. But also you can also meet one man who can also destroy your life completely. I remember there was a book we were reading. It was called The Picture of, this man called Dorian Gray met a man called Lord Henry Wotton. So this man called Lord Henry Wotton changed the perspective of this man called Dorian Gray. He was a very witty man. He was a mentor who corrupted, who corrupted or twisted the truth and taught him about hedonism and other things, intellectual detachment. There are people who, when they look at this Russian man, they look at him with intellectual detachment. Yeah, we're just looking at him as a thesis to learn. We're not really attached emotionally. We're just looking at him to write a thesis or to something. Any questions after there? Any questions after there? You can ask me your questions. Because this man called Henry Wotton told Dorian Gray to take a life. Any questions after that? Any questions after that? Any questions? Can I ask me questions? Any questions? You can ask me your questions. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. I said in the book of Esther, it's a story of how this woman found favor in the eyes of this man. And he also talks about Queen Vashti. Queen Vashti was the wife of King Artaxerxes. Not King, okay. This is what happened, Esther 1. This is what happened during the time of Xerxes. The Xerxes who ruled over 127 provinces, stretching from India to Kush. Kush was Ethiopia. That is the old Babylon. At that time, King Xerxes reigned from his royal throne in the citadel of Susa. And in the third year of his reign, he gave a banquet to all his nobles and officials. So the banquet is like a party, all right? The military leaders of Persia and Media, the princes and the nobles of the provinces were present for a full 180 days. 180 days, that is 6 months. You can imagine a party for 6 months. For a full 180 days, he displayed the vast wealth of his kingdom and the splendor and glory of his majesty. When these days were over, the king gave a banquet in the enclosed garden of the king's palace. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. For all the people from the least to the greatest who are in the citadel of Susa. Any questions up to there? Feel free to subscribe to this channel. Tell me where you're watching me from. Any questions up to there? We're very happy if you subscribe to this channel. Tell me. The gardens had hangings of white and blue linen, fastened with cords of white linen and purple material to silver rings on marble pillars. There were the couches of gold and silver on a mosaic pavement of porphyry. Any questions up to there? Hi. Any questions up to there? It's 6 a.m. Kenyan time, and I'm very happy to be here. Can tell me where you're watching from. Marble, mother of pearl, and other costly stones. Wine was served in goblets of gold, each one different from the other, and the royal wine was abundant, in keeping with the king's liberality. By the king's command, each guest was allowed to drink without restriction. They were drinking without restriction. For the king instructed all the wine stewards to serve each man what he wished. Then Queen Vashti also gave a banquet for the women in the royal palace of the king Xerxes. On the 7th day, when the king Xerxes was in high spirits from wine, he had drunk a lot of wine, he commanded the 7 eunuchs who were with him, Mehunan, Biztha, Habona, Bigtha, Abagtha, Zethar, and Carcass, to bring before him Queen Vashti wearing her royal crown, in order to display her beauty to the people and the nobles, for she was lovely to look at. But when the attendants delivered the king's command, Queen Vashti refused to come. Then the king became furious and burned with anger. So the story starts with Queen Vashti being deposed. Any questions up to there? If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Tell me where you're watching me from. Tell me where you're watching me from. I was wondering, every man is a ruler of his household. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. And the peace, if, for example, if whatever, okay, look, that story, let me not tell you that. Let me not tell you that. Any questions after that? Woohoo. Tell me where you're watching me from. Any questions after that? You can ask me your questions. I will be more than happy to answer you. Any questions after that? Any questions after that? Any questions? Let me see this man is. Any questions after that? Mr. Gordon Opio. I'm good. How are you? Welcome to this channel. If you're new to this channel, subscribe and comment. Did you subscribe to this channel? Did you subscribe? Did you? Oh, really? When did you subscribe? I've never seen you subscribing. When did you subscribe? No way. Seriously? When did I start? Do you know when I started? When did I start? Oh, that's good. So how have you been? I'm so tired. Oh, 3 months. That's good. So you lied to me the other time that send me money. You never did. Such a that's great. I want to go somewhere. It's around 6 a.m. Kenyan time. I want to go somewhere. You're late. So tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Any questions over there? You can ask me questions before I leave. You can ask me questions before I leave. Ask me questions, at least 1 or 2 questions. Really? And did you have to say my mom? Did you have to say my mom said no? Really? But I know you were just pulling my leg. You were not to send any money. Saying, oh, send money. No. You're just like, it's not for me. It's fitness with Jesse. Who's fitness with Jesse? What's fitness with Jesse? Ooh, fitness with Jesse. Who's fitness? Oh, all right. Well, welcome, fitness with Jesse to this channel. Where are you watching me from? Fitness with Jesse. Where are you watching me from? Yeah, it's around 6:10. 6:10. We're not in the opposite side of the world. You're putting it look like yeah. But is the live clear to you? Is it clear? Is it very clear? The live channel, is it clear to you? The video, is the video clear to you? Is it clear? The video, the quality of video? No, I wouldn't know. So you are the one to tell me. Is it clear at your end? Very clear. Oh, thank you. That is all I wanted. Is it shaky, shaky? Shaky, shaky? Blurry? Is it blurry? Is it shaky? Or is it shaky? No, come on. I thought it was clear. You just said it's clear. Is it blurry? Oh, man. Oh, okay. Okay. That's good. I thought it was the video is not clear, but that's good. I'm happy that you are subscribing to this channel. That is very good. Tell me. Okay. I need to go somewhere. It was a pleasure talking to you. Have a wonderful day. All right? Have a wonderful day. All right? I need to go. Arrivederci. Arrivederci, miei amici. Arrivederci. That is goodbye. Arrivederci.